What you see behind me is a little over a week's worth of work with, depending on the day, friends and family involved. Patrick, who's our team lead here, myself, and Jason Panic, who's another team member. My wife Jessie behind the scenes, literally and figuratively, holding all of it together. So it's been a lot of progress in a week. Every boat project is a little bit different. Each one's unique, and so even though generally you might apply a certain procedure to something, when it gets to your specific boat and your individual facility and needs, you're going to use the materials you have and the things you're the most comfortable with. So I'm going to walk through a little bit on what we did, summarizing over the last week. I'm also going to explain some of the things that have helped this process become a little bit more efficient, and then share some of our lessons learned. I'm going to walk through some of the things that we did, a little bit of a step-by-step, and just a high-level overview. So about a week ago, we started pulling the panels out of the container and cutting them out, making them into a little bit more manageable size pieces. And we were able to get those panels specifically for our starboard hull, which you can see behind me. We have them on the Strongback, and we have the bulkheads in place. What I'd like to do now is walk through a little bit of how that process went. So the first part of this process is you have to build your Strongback. Your Strongback is your platform onto which you're going to build your hulls. You're going to lay up your bulkheads, and the Strongback being level and secure is critical. It's going to hold up all of the weight of the boat, and in this case, it's the starboard hull, and it's upside down. So the hull panels are going to go up on top. The Strongback was a bit of a challenge for us. We had a lot of lumber on hand, but over the months of getting ready to do this, we realized that the radiant floor heat was actually warping the wood. And so this was a huge challenge for us to get this Strongback to be square and plumb and true. We had to do a lot of cross bracing and supporting and shimming, but ultimately we've got a very, very secure platform upon which we can build the rest of the boat. This is sort of the foundation. Everything is going to tie into this, and so we wanted to get it as close to perfect as we could. The other thing we did is, utilizing our plans, we measured and marked in where each of the bulkheads were, and then laid our cross member. So coming directly up from it, we knew where the bulkheads would be. What you're doing here is you're putting together the bulkheads in three-dimensional space. And one of the most critical things that's part of this is making sure that they're level, plumb, true, and square to each other. And so labeling these and spending a lot of time devising a plan on how to accomplish that was something that we invested in. We had a lot of different ideas, but ultimately we found another use for our trusty and true companion, the whiteboard, the insulation installer, scaffolding on top of scaffolding. It may not look safe, but this thing has been a lifesaver. It allows us to get to everywhere in the shed, and in projects like putting in the electrical, the lights, the insulation, the covers for our exhaust fans, it's been absolutely critical. So yet again, we use the roll and pull here, and we set up our laser level. Now, it's not calibrated right now because we finished working, but what you can see here is we started all the way at the back panel so that none of these panels were in the way, and we had our laser. And that laser, Jesse, if you want to go ahead and turn off the light, you can actually see that laser will carry all the way across our shed. And when these bulkheads weren't in the way, it shined all the way on our backmost bulkhead. And what we did is we lined our panel all the way at the other end in line with this. You can go, Ted, turn the light on. And so we knew each one of the panels would then be in line. So we started with the backmost or the aftmost panel. We got it locked in, we got the water line level, and we got the center line on, and then we just worked ourselves back through the process doing each subsequent panel. And that allowed us to keep a continuous and common reference point so that they're all directly in line with each other. And you can see, as part of the kit, when they CNC route the panels, there's little datums that are cut in with the router. And we marked and put those together and just kind of, and that is our reference point. So you can see there's a datum up top there, and then there's one at the bottom. And so our process was essentially 2 guys would hold the panel in place. We built our masts and our supports, and we did a lot of measuring there. And we knew this was within, an 1/8 inch, a couple mils of where we wanted to be, and then we would shim it out. And once everything was in position exactly to protect the integrity of the core and make sure we didn't compress any of it, we screwed into our masts. And the masts are the supports that are holding these things in place. Now, we haven't finished squaring them, but you can see we've got cross braces in that are going to support them so that each of them are completely, parallel to each other and level. And so that's probably the next step we're going to get into over the next couple of days. But so it's been a busy week. It's been a really exciting week. And it feels good to have the panels cut, to have them up in the right position, to have the Strongback down, level, shimmed, and secured. And we feel like we've got a really strong platform to start laying in the hull panels. That's going to be our what we hope to accomplish over the next week or so. And then it'll really start looking like a boat.